Today's the day. Resident Evil 9 Requiem has come out.
So I have a riddle for you. What spreads like the T-virus, infecting all nearby organisms? Memes. We've got to build the hype for the new game, with all the Resident Evil memes that rag on the normal and beloved cliches of the series. So go ahead and make yourself a Jill sandwich, and let's get started.
First up, we have the male horror game protagonist starter pack. You can very rarely talk, you can walk off the most fatal of injuries, you have zero personality but you're a fan favorite anyway, you lose hands and fingers like they're socks, and you're looking for a missing wife or child, plus the obligatory green trooper jacket.
Listen, these are the rules. We need rules. How are you supposed to feel the severity of the situation if you don't lose some appendages along the way? How can you hear the faint singing of creepy nursery rhymes if your character babbles through the whole game? As a side note, unlike socks, lost limbs do have a weird way in the Resident Evil universe of finding their way back to you. So that's nice.
To the left, Raccoon City. To the right, welcome to Silent Hill.
Alright, let's get this out of the way early. You do not have to choose one or the other. You just have to choose one or the other right now. And that's a beautiful thing. Also, imagine living in a home just nestled right between these two. I hope you're up to date on your vaccines and free of past psychological trauma.
Has tons of ammo to sell you, doesn't sell ammo.
You're seriously wondering why a man who only calls you stranger and offers his wares at shockingly high prices isn't the Amazon of the Resident Evil universe? Maybe he wants you to fail. I mean, how many dozens of golden treasures do I have to sell just to get a Chicago typewriter around here? I need it for, writing a letter.
Next up, the Home Alone kid picks up a picture frame. It's Operation Raccoon City. His face is filled with abject horror.
If you know what this is all about, you know what this is all about. I tried so hard to get through Operation Raccoon City. I wanted to like it. I wanted the forums to be wrong. They were not wrong. And I mean, look at that face. The kid fought off burglars twice, once in New York City. And even he can barely stomach the thing.
Horror games. Adjust the brightness that the logo is barely visible. Me. No, I don't think I will.
What you do in your own playthrough is your business. I want you to know, though, there are a lot of devs out there who tried really hard to cultivate the perfect lighting to give the ambiance that makes this game a work of art. And you're ruining everything. But wait, it's because there's window glare on the screen, I had to... No. Go play in a dark basement like everyone else.
Hide in the dumpster? Do I look like trash to you? Meanwhile, in Spain...
The president said to bring his daughter back in one piece. He didn't say, Leon, shield her from rotten fruit and broken glass. Next time, maybe don't skip on the rescue budget. Send more than one person, Mr. President, sir. To be fair, she doesn't actually look upset. Maybe Ashley's something of a dumpster diver.
Five Nights at Freddy's, small brain. Silent Hill, big brain. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, extremely big brain.
Resident Evil 7 deserves this honor. It was actually a game changer in the most literal sense. It shifted the game series to first person, it heightened the horror aspects, it slowed down the action to make it more dramatic and intense, and that's especially compared to Resident Evil 6, from which I still have motion sickness. Wait, what is this? The rest of the meme? Doki Doki earned its spot too, of course it did. Capcom, I guess you need to make a self-aware dating sim next and turn that into horror. Can you win over Claire's heart before Ada rewrites the fabric of reality? Wait, you're choosing Annette Birkin? Get out of my sight.
President's daughter gets kidnapped. Send one guy with a handgun and some herbs.
Okay, this is what I was saying. How about issuing some hardware, United States of America? I mean, Ashley isn't off finding herself in Madrid. She's being hunted by parasite-brained men and women of the fictional Spanish countryside, some of whom are wearing very dapper vests. Stylish and deadly. Now, no parent should ever choose favorites. It's just a bad idea. But if I had to guess, I don't think Ashley is number one on the president's list.
Puts awesome guns into game, but it's just a display.
Okay, this one always bugged me. It's life or death out here. If I see guns on the wall, I want to use the guns on the wall. Same goes for if the enemy drops a gun, I want to pick it up and have it be in fully working order like it was when it was shooting me 10 seconds ago. Are you seriously telling me my character can figure out how to reroute electricity to open an automatic door and progress in the plot, but she can't figure out how to pull an SR-25 off some pegs on the wall? What if I want to take the boss down from 800 yards? I mean, seems safer.
Arguably the worst enemy in video games.
This is actually one of those memes that's not funny, it's just true. I played Resident Evil 4 in VR. Gotta say, this guy was the worst part of it. Instead of mumbling, "Matalo, matalo, matalo," he just cuts through you like he's trimming a row of hedges. Plus, he just looks mean. I mean, where's his dapper vest?
So he has more pockets than overall clothing, but she can carry more items? How does that make sense?
Okay, I know Jackie Chan confusion meme is old interwebs at this point, but it has a valid point here. Are Jill's items like in a fanny pack or something? Hidden underneath her sweatshirt? Are they tucked into her boots? Maybe she has an extra gun duct taped to her back like in Die Hard. Not practical, but would be pretty cool. Actually, I think I solved it. Chris's pockets were already full. That's why he has less storage. That's why you can't put things in them. And judging by how Resident Evil 1 went, I'm guessing they're full of bacon and dog treats.
There are two types of horror game players. Those who play it normally, and those who set brightness to 100 million.
This again, but it's real. Raising the brightness in a horror game is like raising the field of view in Call of Duty. It makes the game look awful, but you'll probably survive a little longer. Actually, I think I'm changing my mind here. Look at all the texture details you would have missed. The ornamentation on this chair, the post-it notes in the background, surely with passive-aggressive comments between family members. And the, carnivore spaghetti? All right, next meme.
Here we have Jill leaning over Mikhail in the subway car. Mikhail appears to be in pain and suffering, and she pulls a gun out and puts it to his head.
Don't lie to me and tell me you didn't think about it on your first playthrough. He had bad guy vibes all over him, and early Resident Evil games were rarely subtle about telling you who was the good guy and who was the bad guy. So it's natural to think, right? And look, her shadow hasn't even caught up. That's how fast she drew her revolver. Faster than the speed of light.
Oh no, my only weakness. Chairs.
You want immersion? You want realism? In Resident Evil, there is no moving a chair. We must navigate to the chair-free path if we are going to make it through the room with the chairs. That's how we survive this living nightmare. One thing I always liked about these games is your feet keep moving when you run against these barriers, whether they're visible or not. It's a very understandable reaction. You find an obstacle, you do a little sideways moonwalk. Ironically, Michael Jackson did not pull this move off in Thriller.
Horror games the first time you play them. Sheer panic. Horror games the third time you play them. Basically sightseeing.
It's the fun of the genre. The first time through the game, it hangs you out to dry. Makes you respect it. By the fourth time through, you're going full auto with an MCX, you're skipping every cutscene, and you're speedrunning each boss fight. It's your reward. Actually, this meme would also work if you phrase it a little bit differently. My friend playing a horror game for the first time. Me watching the reactions, having already played it myself.
From the Capcom meeting room. Alright people, we need new ideas for Resident Evil. More DLCs. More shooting. How about more terror? He gets angry, throws the guy right out the window.
It's just too easy for survival horror to lose its way and turn into an action shooter. And I do love action and shooting games, to be clear. But you can't tell me Dying Light or Left 4 Dead are horror games exactly. It's gotta raise the yikes meter to qualify. Now, in all fairness to Capcom, somebody probably made this meme before Resident Evil 7 and 8 came out, pleasantly terrifying us all. So with any luck, number 9, Requiem, will follow this same format. And that brings us to the end of our roundup. Drop a comment if any of these memes stirred any latent memories or, if you just for some reason want to defend Operation Raccoon City. I promise I'll hear you out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I've got to go find the shield key, and I can't really remember where it is. See ya.